Hello, this is Bear from Elliott Wave. How's it going? Here's a new video on Ethereum. As always, today we're going to analyze ETH, see what's happening and what could be happening using the Elliott Wave theory. So here you're looking at all the data we have on ETH, all the way back to 2015. That's what's available. And you can see how I'm being very bullish long term. I'm just showing you this so you get an idea, get some context of what I will show you for the shorter term. Anyways, 5 ways up into wave 1, largest retracement as a wave 2 of primary degree, and then what I'm what I'm seeing at least is 5 ways up yet to be completed into not wave 3 but wave 1 of 3. What does it mean? It means that these 5 waves in black, minor degree, could be some kind of nest, so wave 1 of this higher degree wave 3. So what would that imply? That would imply a lot of upside in the future. Now, could this be intermediate degree already, and could we set ourselves up for a wave 3? Yes, that's possible also. So in that case, we would need some sort of a long wave 5 to then have enough room for wave 4 to come down here, and then wave 5 again. So yeah, that's possible. As always, we can just take it one step at a time, but we know that both scenarios are possible, and we'll see what's going to happen. Now, going back to my favorite scenario for the time being, even though at this point of time, they are forecasting the same outcome, because we're looking for upside either way. The bearish scenario, would be if this was not 1, 2. So let me show you. This wasn't 1, but it was A. This was wave B, and this up here was wave C. So what would that mean? It would mean that we could top somewhere around here and then just move lower. Is that possible? Yes, it is. It makes sense Elliott Wave wise, and fundamentally it would just mean that creeps are dead. Obviously, if that happens to Ethereum, most likely it's going to happen to the rest of cryptos. Ethereum being the second largest, but that's technically possible in Elliott Wave terms. So we need to be aware that obviously that's, for the time being, is less likely to happen, but it's still a possibility, and that's what trading is all about, possibilities. So with that being said, let's analyze what's happening here ever since the whole time high. So let's zoom in for that. And so as you can see, I'm basically have 2 main scenarios for this correction. One being that this correction is completed the way it is, so the way you see it, and this wave 4 is in place. So let me just bring on the tools. That would mean that we have wave 1, 2, 3, triangling 4, and down for wave 5. Now, I know some of you are thinking about it. You could argue that as this wave 2 is very small compared to this wave 4, at least in terms of time duration, not in terms of net retracement, because here wave 4, if it ends here, just a bit over equality of wave 2. So really it's not that much larger. So it makes sense because they alternate in terms of time, and also shape, which is nice. Rule of alternation is met. Anyways, if that's not the case, we could have A, B, C, and W, A, B, C next, A, B, C in wave 5. So there you go with the alternate, which would fit if you don't like this being a 5-wave move. If you do like that being a 5-wave move, just like myself, then we'll just leave it there. And the question now, the great question is what's happening right here. So this is not a golden box, it's just a rectangle for so that I knew that we were going to encounter resistance right there. So here I have two main scenarios. The one is I would call it like we're bullish. So 1, 2, 3, a bit of an ugly wave 4 in an ugly triangle, up in 5, 3 waves down into wave W, 3 waves up into wave X, if you can't see them, A, B, C, and now 3 waves down to wave C. So for the very short term, so what I'm talking about what could happen over the weekend or first few days of next week is I'm expecting downside. Because this sideways move I see as just consolidation to then move lower, and most likely could be some sort of wave B. Now, the problem with the count is I struggle to identify this move down as a wave 1. The reason is because I see 3 and not 5. And 3 waves, as I always say, 3 waves a trend don't make. Therefore, I just struggle to see that as a trend establishing. So that's why it looks like we could have a top in place. Now remember, if I zoom back, this trend channel was obtained. It obviously is an Elliott Wave channeling technique. You connect wave 1 and 3, project it down to 2, and there you estimate for wave 4. And you see how we touched it and reacted from it, and now we're back at it. So perhaps one teeny tiny move lower, get around here. Most likely there will be support showing up once we get there. If we get there, most likely we will, and at that point perhaps we could see upside. If not, and that's when Elliott Wave comes handy because you always have alternates. If not, then I would just call this a WXYXC, very similar to what's happening on Bitcoin. So again, this 5 waves wouldn't make sense, therefore it would just turn into something like this, WXYXC. And there you go. So I'm just going to create a new folder for that. I just wanted to do it live so you guys get an idea what I'm talking about, and I can also explain it while I'm doing it. So ABCs, just like we talked about earlier. Oh, there we go for wave Y. Here you would have your triangling wave B, and here A, B, and C with an ending diagonal in wave in wave C, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, any diagonal, contracting diagonal, meaning that each and every wave must be shorter than the one before. So obviously 1 is the longest. Is wave 5 shorter than 3? We can check, and if I'm not mistaken, it is shorter. Equality is at 2183, so it is shorter than 5 is shorter than 3, therefore all rules are met, and this could be a valid ending diagonal wave C. So yes, we can count that as 3 waves, and here we would have maybe some kind of A, B, C. We'll see. So that would fit what's happening on Bitcoin, which I wanted to show you just briefly. Again, on Bitcoin, WXYXZ, we're looking for here, same thing, consolidation, which by what I'm seeing should lead to further downside. So that would fit Ethereum. However, as I've said, here on ETH we can count. So let me just drag everything into the new folder. Alright, so we can count as 5 ways up, which is something that we cannot do on Bitcoin. Just it doesn't make really sense. You need to force the count here, whereas on ETH you could argue it would come more natural. So one last thing, if we look at the averages, we can see how we are below all moving averages. The 20, so the red line, acting right now as resistance. So until really we get a clear sign of upside resumptions, so some kind of a break, even a break of previous swing lows, then there's really no reason to turn bullish. So as always, all we can do is take it one step at a time and see how it's going to unfold. All I want to do today is present you what I would call the 2 main scenarios for the future of Ethereum, bullish and bearish. So we can just take it one step at a time. As I said, the only thing I'm pretty confident about, and I don't want to be overconfident though, remember I can always make mistakes, is that this looks corrective, bearish corrective, meaning that I would expect further downside from there in the near-term future. So that was about it for me today. As always, if you don't want to miss out on the next update, please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like and let me know in the comments what you think about it, and if you have any other accounts or if you think there's anything wrong that I did or something that I missed. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.